Hi, and welcome to Variety Tech Today. This time we'll be talking about various formats of 3D. 3D has been around since the very beginning of photography, before movies even. It's a very simple concept. It's not a gimmick. It's as old as humans themselves. See these? They're called eyes. Notice how many there are? Two. Do you know why? So that we can have depth perception. When you're looking at a television screen, you don't have any. It's flat, as a pancake. So what 3D attempts to do is to give you a different image for each eye. One for your left eye, one for your right eye. But the challenge has always been delivery. Capturing it has been pretty easy. What you do, basically, is have a camera with two lenses or two cameras mounted side by side to record as if the camera has two eyes, and then putting them together. In modern times, there are 3D conversions. While this might have a bad reputation, thinking that it's fake 3D or whatever, that's really unfounded because 3D conversions nowadays with current technology are equal or better than real 3D. It's that convincing. It's not done automated. Real artists have to manually control the depth of a scene, isolate objects, and nowadays most films are conversions and you can't tell the difference. When it comes to 3D computer animated films, like from Pixar for instance, this is neither conversion or filmed that way, obviously. It's filmed that way virtually. Two virtual cameras inside the animation system that capture things with the depth that already exists in the animation data. So in a sense, it's real filmed 3D. So now back to the topic. Once you have that 3D, those left and right images, no matter what the source, how do you deliver it to the eyes? Well, one common method that has been popular over the years is called Anaglyph. This basically involves colored lenses, the most common colors of which are red and blue. Before digital technology took off, this was a very common method to use for 3D. Because a 3D video has discrepancies between the eye views because of the shifting of objects in the scene, the discrepancies for one eye would be outlined in red, and the discrepancies of the other eye would be outlined in blue. And then the lenses would cancel out each color so that your eyes would see a basically different picture and you'd get that sense of depth. But of course the downside was that you lost a lot of the original color. And of course, because of looking through those harsh colors, it could lead to eye strain watching a whole movie that way. It just didn't look good. You got 3D, but was it really worth it in the long term? And different shades of those colors also exist, but it's the same principle. For instance, these ones that are pink and green. And then, of course, we come to current technology, which is Blu-ray 3D, as well as other digital 3D formats that are used in the theater and at home. The basic concept of all of these is that you get to see a full color version for your left and right eye that's clear. And there are two major methods for digital 3D nowadays. One is called shutter glasses. It takes the left image, shows it on the screen, then it takes the right image and shows it on the screen, and it flickers back and forth 120 times a second. It's so fast you don't even notice. And the battery-powered glasses that you wear, they flicker as well, blocking out the image that you're not supposed to see 120 times a second. The next method, which has taken over and is far more popular because it looks better, it allows for more brightness, doesn't require batteries in the glasses, is called passive 3D. This method was actually used during the 3D heyday back in the 1950s. It involves using glasses that are polarized, similar to sunglasses, but it's a different type of wavelength that it's blocking out. Nowadays, a 3D projector at the theater has basically the shutter glasses are on the projector itself, and it flickers the two images back and forth with a polarized filter screen, and then your glasses, which are not battery powered, just filter out the left and right images that are being projected. On a home television, no flickering is necessary at all. Every other line of pixels has a different polarity, and the glasses do the rest. Nowadays with 4K televisions, it's possible to get the best resolution possible with 3D and passive at the same time, making active no longer necessary. So what about glasses free that you may have heard about? Well, there's a time and a place for glasses free. For instance, this is a form of glasses free 3D. It's called lenticular. It involves printing the various viewpoints in separate strips, and then a lens is glued onto the surface, which makes the viewpoints only able to be seen from certain angles. And then there are parallax barriers, which some telephone screens have, as well as the Nintendo 3DS. This involves a layer on top of the screen. Again, the picture is split into lines for the various viewpoints, and the parallax barrier blocks from different angles the wrong image. Now, I'm not going to get into it now, but there are various reasons why neither of these is feasible for mass usage on television right now. So don't even wait for that. The best kind of 3D you can get at home right now is a 4K 3D television, or, more affordably, a full HD 3D projector with shutter glasses. Now, while Blu-ray 3Ds have two completely separate video streams, of each full HD, there's other formats for recording 3D, for instance on camcorders and from cable providers and online video. This utilizes half-width formats. For instance, the left and right views will be squished horizontally into what is called a side-by-side video. It's half the horizontal resolution, but both left and right views are in the same 16:9 frame. The opposite is done in what is called over-under 3D, where they're squished vertically. And then there's VR, or virtual reality. We talked about in the very first episode how that's a different thing than 360. Two very different things. However, like I mentioned, you can also watch 3D movies on a VR headset, as it will by nature separate the left and right views. You just have to be using the right video file and the right playback software. So I hope you enjoyed this look into 3D. I'll see you next time on Variety Tech Today.